who doesn't love a brand new home? A home where you're the first person to ever live there, the first person to ever use anything in that home. But before you do go and buy a brand new construction home, here are 7 things that you need to know first before buying a new construction home. Hey, Jose here from eXp Realty, your favorite SoCal realtor. Do not hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we are here and ready to serve all your real estate needs. So again, new construction homes, they're exciting. I mean, think about it. You get to watch your home be built from the ground up. Yeah, they'll usually have scheduled tours through each phase of the building of your home. Again, basically, you're watching the birth of your home.
It's a boy!
But something that's not always taken into consideration is, what's your timeline? I mean, yes, how exciting, right? I mean, you're watching the birth of your home. It's being built, but it takes time to do that. I mean, usually you're looking at anywhere from 6 to 9 months, sometimes maybe even a year before your home is built and ready for you to move in. But again, what's your timeline? In other words, when do you have to be out of wherever it is that you're living now? Now, the builder, they will give you, here is the expected completion date for the construction of your new home. But here's the thing. That expected completion date, it can vary a little bit. And they will tell you that, or at least most will tell you that, the expected completion date that they were giving you, it can be delayed due to unforeseen circumstances. Yeah, they could end up getting delayed because of the county inspector, because the county inspector has to come in and sign off on various stages of the construction, the building of your home. And if that inspector is delayed in getting out there, well, there's one possible delay. Or another possibility is, what if there's a delay on receiving the appliances that are supposed to go in your home? Or here's another. What about bad weather? What if weather throws everything off? Bottom line is, there's any number of things that could get in the way and just ultimately end up causing a delay in completing your home. However, once it starts getting a little bit closer to the expected completion date, usually within a few weeks of it, at that point, they're going to be able to give you a lot more concrete answer on when your home should be done, built, and ready for you to move in. I guess the bottom line, my point to all that is just this. Even if there's no delays, even if they are just moving fast, they're building, right? Sorry, my construction. But even if they're done and they're moving fast on building your home and they're done in 6 months, do you have 6 months? Are you going to be good? Are you going to be able to stay somewhere long enough for your home to be built and finished, ready for you to move in? Here's another one to keep in mind, and that is the financing of your new home. Many people aren't aware that you don't have to use the builder's lender. However, I will say there are some benefits to using their lender. Yeah, most builders, they're going to be able to offer incentives to you when you use, their lender. A few examples might be offering to pay money towards your closing cost, or maybe buying down your interest rate, both of which can obviously make a pretty big difference, financially a big difference for you. They may even offer a longer rate lock period. Sometimes they'll even offer credits that can be used toward upgrades on the design of your new home. More on that one in just a moment. Again though, do you have to use their lender? No, not at all. You can use whatever lender you want, whether it's their lender, your lender, your best friend, your cousin Jimmy, whoever. I mean, you're free to use whatever lender you want. It's just, in my experience though, I mean, it is pretty tough for an outside lender to be able to beat what you can get from them when you use their preferred lender. In fact, do me a favor, if you've ever bought a brand new home in the past, or you know somebody that has, do me a favor, let us know in the comments below what lender you ended up using. Here's one that I highly recommend doing. Before you ever go out to those new construction sites and start touring model homes, find a trusted real estate agent to represent you.
Of course you would say that.
I know. I'm a real estate agent. Of course I'm going to say that, right? Well, here's why I say that. First of all, a common misbelief we need to get rid of, and that is, no, you're not going to save any money by not having a real estate agent represent you. I mean, they've already built that into the sales price of the house. They're not going to say, oh, look, they didn't bring a real estate agent. Let's go ahead and lower they're not lowering the sales price. It is what it is. So trust me, you're not going to save any money by not having a real estate agent. And before you say, hey, we'll just use the representative at the sales office. They'll help us with everything. I mean, it's a new construction home. We don't need to worry about anything. I'm not saying that the agent in the sales office, that they're evil, they're snakes, they're out to take advantage of you. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying though is just simply this. They work for and are paid by the builders. They're an employee of the builder, which means ultimately, I mean, who do you think that they're looking out for?
Not me.
And I'm not saying that it happens all the time, not at all, but what if? What if along the way something happens, a hiccup or whatever it is that comes along? I mean, doesn't it make sense to have someone that's looking out for you, someone that has your best interest in mind if something like that does happen? And again, I'm not saying that the agent in that sales office is evil or not at all. I am saying though that if those hiccups do happen, they are employed by the builder. A real estate agent, though, they're an independent contractor. In other words, they're not worried about ruffling any feathers with the builder in order to make sure that things are done right and correct for you and your new home. However, with that said, if you are going to go out and look at any model homes, make sure you have your agent with you when you do that, because most new home companies, they're not going to let you bring an agent into the picture after you've already gone, after you've already signed in and toured their model homes. Besides, even if you could, even if they would let you bring it, I would say bring your agent with you. Put them to work from the beginning. Also, before you do go and start looking at any new model home development, tour homes, I cannot stress enough, do a little bit of research in the area. Because listen, in most cases, I mean, when they do start building new homes, there really isn't anything else around. Or at least in most cases, not very much around. But what is in the area? Or again, if there really isn't very much else around, what are the plans for the area? In other words, what are the closest neighborhoods like? Do they help or do they hurt your home value? Or what about grocery stores? What kind of grocery stores in the area? Or what are the closest schools? Or closest parks? Or closest restaurants? Bottom line, what is in the area? What's going to be around you in your new home? Not always something that's thought about, and it may not even be that big of a deal. I just don't want you to get overly wrapped up in the excitement of buying a new home without making sure that you're also considering everything that's going to be around you. I bring this one up hesitantly because you probably don't need me or anyone to tell you, just make sure you look at a few different floor plans, because when you're buying a resale home, a home that someone else owns and they're selling, you don't go look at just one home and say, quick, this is the one, let's hurry up, let's make an offer. Obviously, you want to make sure that you look at enough model homes to be able to get an idea onto what ones you like, what models you don't like, or floor plans, I should say. But here's the thing, just as important as floor plan is the lot, right? I mean, look at a few different options that you have there when it comes to the lot. In other words, do you have a certain direction you want your front door to face? Do you have a preference on the view that you have when you look outside your home? That's one of the beauties that comes with new construction is you get to pick all that, or at least within the scope of what they have available, of course. In most cases, what will happen is after you've toured all the model homes and you like floor plan B, right, whatever it is, then we're going to let the sales rep know, hey, floor plan B, that's the one we like. They're going to say, okay, floor plan B, they're going to look at their map. That's going to be in these, I'm making numbers up, these 3 different lot locations. That's where we're building floor plan B. They're going to ask you, which lot do you want? Me? Before you make that choice, I would drive by those lots. That is assuming the road's ready to be driven on. But at minimum, I would at least walk by the area. Go walk by the lot. Check it out. I mean, look around. Are you going to be happy with where you're at? Because you're spending however much money it is that you're spending to have a home built here for you. Make sure that it's where you want to be. Make sure that it's, the views are what you're going to enjoy, that the front door is facing the direction you want. Just make sure that you're happy with it, because once you pick that spot, yeah, that's your spot. Now, another thing that's not always thought about, however, we did kind of hit on this one just a moment ago, and that is the upgrades. Remember a moment ago we were talking about the lender, when you use their preferred lender, they'll offer different incentives, one of which might be a credit that you can use toward upgrades on your home. In fact, when you're walking and touring those model homes, which really are beautiful, aren't they?
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
You're not looking at a base model. There are a number of upgrades in that model that you're touring. I mean, from the flooring to the appliances to custom cabinets to the bathroom. There are a number of upgrades that are in that model home. And why? Well, They obviously want you to buy some of those upgrades. Yeah, kind of like when you go down to the local fast food restaurant, right? And you go in, you order the combo number, I don't know, whatever, the combo number 3. And what do they always ask you? Would you care to make that a large? Would you like to add a pie to that? They're always trying to upsell you. This is no different. I mean, and you go through that model home, they're beautiful. Who wouldn't want those upgrades? Just keep in mind though, those upgrades can add up pretty fast. It's like you drive through, driving through town. You see the sign, brand new home, starting as low as, and whatever that number is. But you see that and you think, that's doable. We can do that. And it's a brand new home. So you go in there, you tour the model home, you fall in love with it. The upgrades you find out that it has, oh, well, we want those upgrades. We love that model home. And then you find out, well, to get those upgrades, it's an extra $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, whatever it is. It can add up pretty fast. Here's the thing though, if you do love the home, but you can't do the upgrades, don't overstress on that. Buy the home, you have your brand new home, and do some of those upgrades later. Now, this is the one that honestly, I probably catch the most flack on because, I mean, it's a new home, Jose. Why do I need to worry about doing that? Trust me though, you really should have your own independent home inspection of the house. Usually within a couple weeks of your home being ready for you to move into, they're gonna have you come down, walk through the house with one of their representatives. They're gonna hand you a roll of masking tape. This is the magic blue masking tape, right? They're gonna hand that to you. They're gonna tell you, go through the house, put a piece of tape on everything that you see that needs to be fixed or needs to be touched up. And trust me, there will be things that need to be fixed or touched up. Oftentimes, quite a few things. Such as if there's, maybe a ding in the door for the dishwasher, mark it with a piece of tape. Or maybe there's a scratch or a chip or a crack or whatever on one of the tiles. Mark it with a piece of tape. So what'll happen is they're gonna go through all of that. Everything that you marked with tape, they're gonna go through there. They're gonna fix it, correct it, make sure everything is right. Have you come down once that's done. Have you come down and go through the house one more time just to make sure everything was done. Here's where that home inspector comes in. Yes, you and your agent, you're gonna go through the house looking to identify all these issues, dings and scratches and cracks and whatever, marking them all with tape, but are either of you a professional home inspector? Now, I've never personally had this happen to any of the buyers I've ever represented, but one of the worst stories I've probably ever heard of is a buyer, they bought a new construction home, did all their marking with the tape, dings and scratches and whatever, all that needed to be fixed and corrected. So all that was done, and they moved into the house. And I don't remember, I want to say it was like a week or 2 weeks after they had moved in, but one of the upstairs showers, the drains were never connected properly. Where do you think all that water ended up going? Oh, okay, maybe it wasn't quite that bad, but yeah, it went through the ceiling. Now, yes, your new home, it's going to come with warranties, and the different parts of the house are going to have coverage or warranties anyway for different lengths of time, ranging anywhere from 1 year to 10 years. Quick side note on that, make sure that you read and understand all the warranties for your new home. Here's my question though, how excited are you now after having the water come through, all the damage, and now your home has to be turned into a construction zone to be able to fix all that?
How about new?
Here's what I like to recommend. Have a home inspector go through the home a few days before you meet with the builder to mark everything with tape. Because now you have a repair list to be able to just hand over to them. Here are the things we want to make sure they're fixed. Listen, that buyer that bought the house with the whole flooding thing, I mean, had they had a home inspector go through, probably would have had that caught and fixed before they moved in. Do you have to have your own home inspector? No, of course not. However, by using one though, by having a home inspector go through the house, they're usually going to catch things like that aren't always necessarily out in the open. Yeah, they're going to help you make sure that your home is built right the first time. Of course, if you do have any questions at all, or maybe you are thinking about buying a home here in or anywhere around the Inland Empire, whether it's new construction or not, my contact information is below though. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, we'll catch you on the next one.